So make sure when you export from AutoCAD, yeah, pen assignment and plot style, you already learned about this. So make sure all of those are correct. If not, you have to edit in Photoshop, which will take longer time. So make sure it's already correct when it's in AutoCAD. Okay. For the scale, what scale to use? So you try to produce, use 1:50, or if it couldn't fit, use 1:75 or 1:100. I think it can fit on 1:75, but the best is to use 1:50. 1:100 is too small for A3 size. Paper drawing. Okay, so that is for part 1, which is 5%. For part 2, so part 1 is different. Okay, it's totally on to see how to export from AutoCAD to SketchUp. So this is the task 2 and task 3, 15% and 50%. So total up, which is 30%. So task 2 and task 3 is connected. For task number 2, build a SketchUp model based on the link that I will share with you, or I already placed at your e-learning. E-learning, you guys. Okay. So I already placed here, the project brief is here. You can click here and you can see that I already assigned to your name. Let me click the first one. Okay, all these buildings are just small buildings like this. I want you guys to explore how to build a SketchUp model. And most of the buildings, I think all buildings have like nice materials, so you can explore how to, apply all these materials. And maybe for for example, like this, if you want to explore, if you want to make it more detailed, you can even model each of the panels so that you can see the shadows. Okay. So don't open yet. Okay, don't worry about that yet. Focus here first. So produce one Photoshop branded exterior perspective in A3. Make it full size, huh? We can leave some empty space at the corner, of course, but if the A3 is this big, don't produce like only 1/3 of or don't use only 1/3 of A3 size. Okay, make sure it's nicely filled in the A3. Use similar title block as task number 1. Why I put that similar and not the same. Similar means you try to see for something you have to change, of course. For example, there's no scale for perspective, so you don't have to put the scale. So export multiple images with preferred settings to Photoshop. Actually, you just have to produce one. So it's up to you whether to export one or more images. If you export multiple images, you can try to see which one is the best for the final rendered perspective. You can apply any preferred architectural rendering method using Photoshop. Okay, don't use 3D rendering software. I know that most of you or some of you already know how to use all this software, but it's very hard to see, very hard to compare with your friends' work. So focus only on from SketchUp to Photoshop. Okay, use different background setting to increase originality. If you use the same one with the example, it's going to be very boring, right? So use any background that you prefer. From here, you can place it at the seaside, for example. So this one, we would like to see more on how you manipulate and how you use the software, the Photoshop. Okay, so how to use Photoshop to do multiple, how to say, superimpose, how to apply materials, have shadows, add human figures, trees, etc., etc. Okay, add all of this to make your perspective looks very nice. And the last one, okay, if you see the link just now, there's also explanation here. This explanation. So another task is for you to create a diagram, because we don't want students to just have like nice renderings, but you couldn't explain your design. We want you guys to be able to explain your design in terms of the perspective, in terms of the write-ups, and of course in terms of the diagrams, because you know, if you guys don't like to read, it's the same with, I wouldn't say lecturers, it's the same with other people, okay? Because and other thing is, we are all visual. We love to see graphics, right? We capture graphics better than reading. Not everyone, okay, but most of us. So produce some graphics to explain, diagrams, okay, diagrams to explain. The diagram can be about the design, can be about the materials, can be about the concept, for example, or maybe the arrangement of spaces, up to you. You can like make it into a little bit like 3D, exploded with to share spaces, ke, materials, ke. It's up to you guys. I will leave it up to you. Plus, architecture students can in interior architecture, work with your friends, try to see what others are doing. If they are doing something better than you, do better than them. Okay. And then from that diagram, the diagram is only 5%. Another 10% is on the presentation board. Okay, so on their presentation board, get the text from the article, use the diagram that you already created, and add the rendered perspective from the task number 2. Okay, for this one, don't use technical data block. We want to see a nice presentation board with and compose the details to be part of the presentation board. So the submission is in 1 month. Okay, almost 1 month. I think already 1 month, because next month there's 31 days kan. Dah berapa minggu 4 minggu lah. Wait 1, 2, 3, 4. 25th, 1. Cun 4 weeks, okay? All right, and don't worry, all buildings are very small, like I showed just now. It's more on exploring the software rather than producing, exploring, complicated buildings. Okay. Any questions for now? Alright, kalau tak ada, okay. I will share with you modeling in SketchUp. Okay, so today is more on exporting from SketchUp and exporting from Autocad. You guys already export from Autocad to PDF, right? Okay, can anyone share with me because your submission for assignment 2 is in PDF. Okay, you can share with me any AutoCAD file. You can just share with me or did you guys submitted the assignment 2 in drawing in DWG format? Hello?
In PDF.
Ada tak anything yang in DWG punya format?
AR Najib for exercise 2, 1 and 2.
Exercise 2. Okay, alright. Kita tengok yang tu. Submission of exercise 1. Submission of exercise 2. Okay, lama tak hantar. Right. Now, for this one, I will say, even though we guys, lecturers guide you guys, especially in rendering, but I think it's the best, not the best, you learn from your friend also, okay? Because you do this every semester and almost every day, right? You produce submissions for studio work. So you are more experienced, you spend more time with the Photoshop than me. Okay? All right. So from your, okay, when I export this one, it might not be the best because I didn't have your pen assignment. You know pen assignment, right? The settings for the line width. So I'll just share with you guys how to export. Okay, so make sure before you export this, you edit first. Make sure you refine this, delete the apa nama ni, grid lines and arrange back the dimensions. For example, for this one, is it center or center? Okay, so make sure it's not dotted line, in dash line kan? Make sure it's straight line. Make sure the text is not like this, it's at the middle or a little bit like above here. Okay, so to export, you go to plot and Control P to plot. So we're going to plot to EPS. Okay, to plot to, you can plot to PDF also, or you can plot to EPS. This setting, I won't teach this now, you already learned about this, so I'm sure you have pen assignment, etc. here. Can choose the windows and get the dimension, the floor plan that you want. Instead of fit to paper, choose 1 to, if you want to do 1 to 100, you can do 1 to 100. Let's try 1 to 50. The paper, make sure it's A3 and etc. But before that, actually you have to choose the plotter, right? So you have no plotter here. What you have to do is close first. Okay, go to home, click the A here. Under print, don't click anything yet, just hover your mouse here, go to the right side, scroll down, manage plotters. Click this one, manage plotters. Okay. Add a plotter wizard. I think tak ada here. Okay, click this one. So I use this a lot when I was students, but now that I'm a lecturer, I only click this once per year when I teach you guys. Okay, oh, sorry. Cepat sangat. Add a plotter wizard, double click here, just click next. Next again, by default, it's going to be like this. So click next. And luckily by default also, Adobe is on the top, at the top. So it's the first one. You can choose PostScript level. I can't remember what the difference. I think there's not much difference. So I just choose PostScript level 2. Click next. Next again, and just next. Habis. Plotter name PostScript level 2. Okay, next. Finish. So now you have, mana yang baru tu? This one. PostScript level 2. Okay. Got it, huh? If I'm too fast, just mention, okay? You can use the reaction just now. Now go back to your AutoCAD, go to Control P boleh, or you can just go to this one, print. Kan? AutoCAD ni pelik kan? It's for here is print, but here is plot. So plot is because when you print A1, you're using plotter machine. So plot and print is the same lah in AutoCAD. Okay, or you can just press Control P. Continue to plot a single sheet. Okay. Now, if you scroll down, you can see here, PostScript level 2. Click that one. Plot to file. Don't forget that. Plot to file. Choose ISO A3. Landscape. Okay. You can make it center. Okay, center the plot. Instead of display, make sure you choose window. Choose this again. I don't know why you have dimension here. I just choose here. Okay, now you can check. You can see here by default is 12229. And you see how small it is. So let's try 1 to 50 and press tab. You can click preview to see how it looks like. So maybe it's too big, right? I don't know why it's portrayed. Let's go back. Maybe here. Change to landscape. Okay, drawing orientation, change to landscape at the bottom right. Let's see again how it looks like. Okay, almost fit. So let's use 1 to 75. Don't forget these settings here for the line weight. Let me just choose monochrome so you can see it's black and white. Okay, so something like this. Okay, don't worry that it's not center. It's okay. You can edit in Photoshop. You can just export first. So I'm going to close preview window and click OK. Make sure you plot to file. Click OK, and you can save. So just now the error is because you use scale for the dimensions, kan? For the annotation. So it's not the same with the one that I plot here. So I will let you figure that out yourself, okay? Because that is on AutoCAD. Let me save. Teaching process 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, now that you've exported that one, you can go to your Photoshop. Any questions so far? You can just ask, okay? It's two-way communication, not only one way here. And it's very boring, kan? Only I just cakap. Tanyalah something. Or you can add comment, you can add suggestions. It's 20, almost into 22, kan? Teaching is not like last time anymore. So if you have anything you want to add more, just add. You can share with your friends on your experience. All right, so let's go to Photoshop. Let me check. Let me put here so I can see if you leave any comments. So if you already got your Adobe ID, you can install, you will get a latest version. You can just click new file. Okay. Have to recall a bit. Okay, click new file and go to print. We're going to use A3, remember? So you can, so go to print, view all presets. You can see A3 here. Just click, even though it's portrait, it's okay, just click A3. Now at the right side, you can see here the size. By default, it's going to be pixels, I think. But you can change the millimeter here. And then change the orientation by clicking this icon. You can make it into artboards. I haven't explored this. This is new, using artboards. Usually artboards is only for Adobe Illustrator. Okay, resolution, maybe 300 is quite high. 300 is good. Okay, 300 is good. But sometimes your computer couldn't cope with it when you have like very big Adobe in your, in your program, right? So you can use 200. Okay, if your computer is powerful, you can use 300. Of course, the quality is going to be different, but there's not much different because when you print, you're going to use like normal plotter machine, kan? So the effect is not that much. Unless if you're printing using, I don't know how other printing machine, or with higher quality, then yes, you can use higher resolution. Magazine use what resolution? Magazine. Anyone knows? What resolution does magazine use to produce when they want to design their pages? Tak tahu. No. Who's KK?
No.
KK siapa?
Yes.
Do you want to suggest? Suggest lah. Guess. Do you want to guess?
Guess. Think 300.
Okay, bukan. What's your full name?
KK.
Your full name?
Yeah,
Your full
KK.
name is KK?
NG. Start with NG, then KK.
Oh, okay. Hi, KK. You're in interior architecture, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Ha, Chayun. Chayun, teka Chayun.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
1080.
1080. Okay. Nurfarah guess 133 to 150. So you have to see there's either pixels per inch or pixels per centimeter. I'm like right now we're using pixels per inch. 1080 Chayun kata. Okay, last. Two more. Apa kita ada? Mana nama-nama yang saya kenal? Okay, I hentam Okay, Putra. Hi, Putra.
300.
Berapa? 300.
Yes.
But
the plotter is I think Xerox.
Xerox lah. Xerox tu nama brand. Kita panggil Xerox lah. Okay, last. Kai Sheng.
600 maybe.
Google eh.
No.
Yeah, for magazine they use 600 pixels per inch. Okay, thank you. All right, so you see how big is the difference? We only use 300. Okay, I want to choose 250 juga. So printed usually, okay, this is also important. Check your plotter or your printer. Usually for plotter, I think it's CMYK. RGB is more for anything that you publish online. But your submission is going to be in online, kan? Okay, but take note, okay, check your printer, whether they're using CMYK colors or RGB. What is CMYK? Oh, cik tanya je. Yeah, what is CMYK? Priya? Priya? Shervin?
Madam,
Priya, what is CMYK color?
I think CMYK is the name of the colors, is it?
So what are the names of the colors?
I remember yellow.
Okay.
Not sure about the other two alphabet.
All right. Amjad?
Yes, sir.
CMYK apa?
CMYK, dia supposed to, I think, this I tak ubah dia punya, yeah.
Tak tahu. Tapi
Yeah.
you tahu lah color.
Yeah.
Okay. Macam mana ni Amjad dia selalu pakai ni. Alright, thank you. Dashna? Dah panggil ke Dashna? Belum kan? Dashna, what is CMYK?
To be honest, not sure.
Not sure. So,
If according to what Pia said, maybe just estimation. C means cyan, M means magenta, Y means yellow.
yeah,
Maybe that.
betul. Yeah, cyan, magenta, yellow. K tu actually is for black. So, RGB? Syama, RGB apa?
Red, green, blue.
Senanglah pula kan? Okay. So, choose either these two, okay? Dah bagi jawapan kat sini, baru perasan. Perasan pula ada message. Thank you, Zulfakar pun dah jawab tadi. Sharvin and KK. Alright. So, tadi dah A3 dah betul. So, you can just click. Okay. Create. So, this is your A3. Now, to import or open, you can just open and find the file just now. So, this one, EPS, open. And then it will ask you again on the resolution. So choose the similar resolution with your A3 that you created just now. Okay, and just click OK. You can actually just create here. I mean, you can do your drawing here actually. Or you can just open both and you can, it's too fast. You can just click the this layer. For those who never tried Photoshop, so at the right side here, you can see layers. Okay, I will share with you what we usually use now. Okay, we use this one for history. We use this one for layers. If you cannot see layers, you can go to Windows, you can go to Workspace, you can choose Essentials. All right, so by default, there's this one layer. You can see the squarish things. That means basically the background, I will say. Okay, when you see squarish means now it is transparent. but actually it's not totally transparent. This layer contains the drawing and with transparent background. Okay, so if I click here, add layer, and move the new layer, and move it down, you can just click and drag. Okay, and you can press. I know you guys are more familiar. For those who actually use Photoshop, you might know the shortcut. You can choose the pen bucket here. Okay, by default, make sure it's pen bucket. You can color it white. Okay. I will share later how to choose colors. Okay. So paint it white. Now you can see the drawing that you exported from Autocad. If I zoom in, okay, now it's too much, right? If I zoom in to 100 only, you can see that it's very sharp. Okay, you might see it pixelated a bit because it's not zoomed in. Why is it pixelated? Okay. Sometimes it looks like that, but when you print, it's going to be clean. Or maybe you can set the settings now. You can check back the settings when you export. Right? Now you can just click this one. Okay, the first one is move layer, move tool. Okay, this is move tool. This is Marquee tool, and etc. Like explore one by one, together with editing the drawing. Okay, when you click move, you can just click on any object and you can just move. It will automatically select the layer. But if you see here, so basically similar to Autocad. It's actually similar to Revit lah. Okay, you choose one tool and you check the settings. So in Photoshop, you choose one tool and you check the settings. Okay, if you press and you don't release, just press. You can see you can choose more settings here. All right. Now, this is for automatically select a group or layer. If I uncheck this one, it will just select the current layer. See, layer 1. If I click layer 2, it will move only the layer 2. But if I click this one, if I click layer 2, it will move layer 2. If I click on this layer, it's hard to click. Okay, it will move that layer. Okay, let's just drag this one. Drag to Untitled. Don't release yet. Okay, just drag, click. Just click and drag, and then only release when your cursor is on the paper. You can delete the previous one. Okay, so now you can actually still make it brighter. So you can just press Ctrl J to duplicate the layer. So you can see that it's darker now. Okay, depends. You can just edit. In Photoshop, basically you can do anything. You want to edit, you want to reduce brightness, you can edit anything lah. That's why in Photoshop you can just superimpose pictures. You can make someone who's not there looks like they're there, right? Okay, lagi. So that's how to import from AutoCAD to Photoshop. Any question? I think you save lah this one. When you do this, you can save. All right. If you have question, just ask, okay? Do you want to continue with Photoshop or you want to go to SketchUp first? Tak ada, tak kisah. Lah, got you guys more excited to do explore the Photoshop kan? Okay, let's do Photoshop. I think SketchUp is very easy. SketchUp I will just share on tips and tricks lah. You can just explore yourself. Senang kan? I think lecturers punya kids pun, they already use SketchUp when they are 5 years old. Okay, so ready dulu. Now Where to start? Okay, I close all first. I close all tools first. Okay, so when you open the software, let me create a new one. Yeah, I delete semua. Okay, this one is the new file that I created just now, kan? So the first tool is move. The second one is Marquee. So even though these lines are all from SketchUp, these lines are all from AutoCAD, but it's not the same. The character of the lines are not the same anymore. Now it's like just images. It's an image with multiple lines. For example, let me delete this layer. Okay. For example, if I use the Marquee tool, okay, long click, let's choose the rectangular Marquee tool. If I choose this part and I click delete, you will delete that area. Okay, it's not the same as if I do like this, delete, if you delete that, anything in the box will be deleted. So be careful. To undo, you can just use Ctrl+Z. Or you can go here, this one, history, and you can go to which action that you've taken just now. But there's a limit to this, of course, because if the software remember all steps, the RAM is going to be full. RAM, you know, right? The memory. Okay, you have the ROM. The memory is inside to save all the files. There's RAM. I don't know what RAM stands for, but it's for your like working memory. Okay, when you copy something before you paste, it will keep in the RAM. So same as this, all these tabs, if it's there, means the RAM are saving it. Okay, the RAM is saving it in, I don't know how RAM look like. It's saved lah, okay. So if there's a lot of steps that is there, that is saved here, means it takes up a lot of RAM space. Okay. So usually after a while, the previous one will be, you cannot change anymore. So to be safe, if you're using Photoshop, what you can do is completed one part, you can save that, you can create another file. Okay, it means you save that, copy that file and continue with the new file. So you have a few versions. I think if you've done your practical, usually that's what happened. Okay, so I teach you guys on the move tool, on the Marquee tool. The Marquee tool, again, okay, always remember to explore here. There's a lot of settings, so I cannot teach everything. Okay, you can choose this one, for example, one, and you can choose the second one, which is add to selection. So you can still add the selection. You can delete the selection like this, or you can, this is intersect. See the difference? They intersect. Whichever intersected will be selected. Or you can choose, you can press alternate. Alternate will be minus selection. Shift will be add selection. Okay. To unselect, to deselect, Control D. Is it too much? You can jot down all of this, okay? I will upload you can share, you can watch it at YouTube again later. So that is on selection. Okay, this is interesting. Feather. I think, I'm not sure, maybe you guys will use this a lot. Let me just draw something first in another layer. Let's make it more fun. We color here. Okay. Choose this for. Okay, the one I'm choosing now is called wand, magic wand. So I choose rectangular Marquee to also select the lines below this area below the lines. Because when we use the magic wand just now, they will only select the spaces between the lines. And so now that I've selected this part, I want to apply color. Okay, I will just apply first, okay? I will explain again later. Okay, before that, I will create a new layer. I will place it before the lines. This is the lines. This is let's say room 2. Okay, and then I will color this. So the shortcut is G, and I will replace white color actually. That's why it's not there. Okay, because I'm not used to the new one. So basically you click here, the small arrow here, so you can see all icons, all tools. So by default, the color is white and black. Just now I actually click this one, it's changed. Okay, so double click there, you can choose any color. You choose that color, pink color. And using pen bucket, I'm going to paint that part. Okay, so actually I want to show this one. Okay, rectangular marquee tool, click again. You can see here there's feather. If you click feather, you can change to 5, for example, and you select this part and delete. You can see the feather there. Let me do it with 0 feather. Select here and delete. Okay, you see the difference? So that is feather. With feather, without feather. Okay, you can change this maybe just to and you can delete like that. All right, so that is feather. Yeah. Okay, after that is Lasso Tool. Lasso Tool is similar to rectangular marquee tool, but you can, for example, I baca ni. So there is Lasso Tool, selection tool, but can be in any shape. Lasso Tool. Or usually we will choose this. Long click, don't release. Okay, only release when you already your cursor is on the chosen tool, which is this one. I want to choose polygonal lasso tool. Release. Now this one is like this. You have to click. So sometimes what we do is we just, it doesn't have to be too perfect when using Photoshop, okay? You don't have to zoom like this and try to go to the exact pixel. No. In Photoshop, basically try your best. Of course, don't make it too messy, but then don't be too detailed because you're going to spend a lot of time on unnecessary things. Okay? So, for example, you want to make some shape, you can just like do multiple click like that, for example. Okay. That is lasso tool, and magnetic lasso tool is like this. You can just, okay, when using magnetic lasso tool, you can go here, you can check whether here, tak apalah, nanti you explore lah, I just share the detail first. So this is magnetic lasso tool, means you click once, you release, and you can just move your cursor, it will automatically detect the nearest line. You see? Can you also click? There I click. Okay, you can also click, you can also use, and you can also allow the marquee tool, the lasso tool to automatically select the points. Okay. Next one is the magic wand tool. You will use this a lot. There's also quick selection and object selection. Let me just teach you the basic one, which is the magic wand. Okay, you can just click, okay, choose the correct layer. Okay, click here, plan lines. This is where the lines for my plan is. And if I choose this one, see, it will select, automatic select the one behind inside the box. So just now it's just new selection. If you choose this one, it's going to be add to selection. You can do like that also. You see, when you double click, it will also select others that is nearer. Let me undo a bit. For example, nampak tak? For example, I click here once. When I click again, usually it will select more area. You see kan just now? But select, click once. When I click twice, it will select more. Oh, sorry. This one I click once. This one when I click twice. You can see the different tab. Okay. You can change the tolerance to make it bigger or lower. Lower number means is less tolerance, means it will only select. I tunjuk je lah. Okay, let's say the tolerance is 2. So I click here. compared to the tolerance is 50, and I click here. Not much difference. Okay, so that is 50. When it's 2, if it's more complex, you can see the difference. Basically, for tolerance 2, it will only select on the which more higher apa kita panggil? Contrast of colors. For higher tolerance means they more tolerate, like kan, they tolerate lebih, it will detect more area. Let me put 32 again. Okay, don't worry, all of this you will figure it out when you start to use the software. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have questions, please just ask. Don't wait until the end because you will get mixed up because there's a lot of tools over here. So this one I just skip lah. This is crop tool, simple. Frame tool also I will skip. I drop tak payah. Ini pun tak payah apa ni. Bucket tool I already showed just now. There's also gradient tool, bucket tool or gradient tool. Let me choose one new layer. Gradient. So gradient you have to do like this. Okay, or you can also do like this. Let me show again. So when using gradient tool, if you didn't select any area and you apply the gradient, it will be filled in the whole page, in the whole space lah. If you have some, for example, you actually have select only this room, contoh, and for example, only this room, and you choose gradient, you can place here. So it will only apply in the, if you make it longer, it will be different. You can see, you can try to play around. The first point is going to be where the first color is. The second one is the second color, where the second color starts. And the middle one is where it blends together. If I click here to here, you can see that here is already pink color, here is darker color, the black color. Okay, and the color is from here. Okay. I'm not too fast. Right? Senang kan? So that is gradient tool. This is bucket tool. Let me choose another. Okay. Gradient tool. Yeah. So bucket tool, basically you just click and get the color. After that, this is interesting. Mana brush? Oh, I've missed brush. So brush is this one, brush tool. Okay, let me click brush tool. And if you right click, you can see more brushes here. You can change the size, you can change the hardness. Okay, let's choose darker color and make it bigger. And if I apply at the corner here, you can see the effect. Sometimes you want to make like a little bit like shadows, for example. So you can use this one. You can change the opacity here. Okay, you can reduce the hardness, the size bigger. So you can try to play around. You can make it like that. You can again reduce the opacity and play around. Okay. Apa lagi sudah pakai? Pen tool, when I first start using Photoshop, I rarely use this one. I use this a lot in Illustrator. Okay, I will show you guys later. Okay, apa lagi? This simple lah. This is shapes, shapes, rectangle, ke others here. If you want to use the polygon, what you can do is you can change the number of polygon here. You can start with 3. Remember, when you start to create a new tool, always refer here at the, I would say this is maybe options bar, the name. Okay. Change to 5. Now it's 5. And others lah. Okay. If you press shift and draw, it will be like perfect shape. and this with same size. Always use shift. We try to explore shift, alternate, control. Always help you. Always have different. Like alternate means you will start from the center. And then I click the first point here. So you will start from the center. If you click shift and alternate, it will start from the center and the sides will be in the same size. Control is for, you can rotate lah kalau control. Okay. You can change the rotation. It is same different use for different tools lah. Just now for Marquee is more to add to Marquee, add to selection, kan? Delete from selection ke. This is pen, PN, pen. Or hand tool. In Photoshop it says here is hand tool. Or you can just, if you're clicking something else, you can just press spacebar. Spacebar tahu? Ni spacebar. Okay, basically let me show. You press spacebar, don't release, and then you can click. Okay, you see, now my cursor shows that is move tool, kan? If I press spacebar, it's hand tool, and I click using my mouse, then I can move. Okay, I can move it. Okay, so you don't have to change tools because we use the hand tool a lot. Pen tool, we use it a lot. So when you do something else, just press space bar and you can just move around. If you press alternate and zoom in and zoom out, it's going to scroll in and if you scroll in and scroll out, it's going to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, to alternate. Control. Tak pakai lah, alternate lah. Alternate and space bar to move around your drawing. Okay. Any question? Good. Okay, I want to know whether it's too much or I can teach more. I need to know the feedback from you guys. Nurul Izzati, but IA student tak actually lah. You guys already use Photoshop, kan? Nurul Izzati from IA, is it?
Yeah, I'm from IA, madam.
So, am I going too fast or you already know most of it?
No, I haven't learned using Photoshop.
This semester only start, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, so did you learn something today?
Yes.
Is it too fast?
So far okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Sama. Putri?
Yes, madam.
Laju tak? Okay tak?
Okay je.
Okay je. Oh, ada korang ni.
I explore before this.
Dah explore. Siapa yang belum explore? Can you guys share with me? Who haven't explored yet? Umil? Umil, am I going too fast? Can you get what I'm explaining here? Umil ni ada ketak ni. So Shujim asked, Madam, Magic Wand, bukan Magic Wand Magic Wand has the similar function as Marquee tool. It's to select something, selection, but different in terms of how you're going to select. Okay, Magic Wand is just click like that. Maybe you're confused because I'm selecting square rooms, kan? Okay. Now Photoshop got videos to share what the tool is about. So Magic Wand, you see, it will select everything with the same color. If I go to this layer, plan lines, if I click here, it's actually selecting all inside here because this area are all in, there's no color actually. All are transparent. Okay. But if I go here, okay, now you can see. If I go here, okay. If I go to this part and I select only here, it will select the similar color, you see? Let me select the darker one. It will select only this part or only the lighter part. So it will select based on the colors. If I use the rectangular marquee, basically I have to draw. I have to draw however I want. Let's change the feather to 0. Okay. Yes, there is. What's the question?
The dark color one already covered the door, so how to recover back the door? And no, the just now part.
The dark
This is
color,
not-
this part. So if you
Yes.
realize here, this is the plain line layer. Okay, this one actually I created in different layer. Usually when you do Photoshop, I know that usually you didn't change the name of the layer. So make use, okay, always, not always lah, but make a habit to change the name so it's easy for you to find a layer. For example, now when I created this layer just now, if you actually color on the same layer, you cannot recover from that. It will be permanent. So make a habit to use multiple layers. But of course, if you have a lot of layers, it will consume your RAM. So for example, if you already like color multiple rooms, you can just merge all the layers together after you have confirmed the colors, for example. Okay, this one actually, when I already created new layer and I rename the layer. Let rename room 3 blah. Okay, so this layer can be the color or the color for room 3's floor. We will also have another layer for furniture and another layer for other things. Okay, you can arrange all this based on the like furniture, all furnitures, or you can arrange based on rooms. This one depends on your preference later. Okay, there is.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, madam.
Sama-sama. So for layer, you can see here, after you color, actually you have to bring that down. Let me choose the gradient tool. I will move it down below the room tool. So you can see that the line is above the gradient punya layer, gradients layer. Okay, all of these are raster image, means it's image lah. These are shapes. The polygon you nampak ada this icon kan. These are shapes. So for image, if you zoom in, it will be a bit blurry at the corner. Okay, for polygon, you can still edit. You can make it bigger and it will not blur the corner. So to edit the polygon, you can just click here. Nampak ni? Okay, path selection tool, you can still edit. You can press shift, you can press control or alternate to play around to see how to edit. While you're using this tool, you can still press, for some tool, you can press spacebar to pan when you're using other tools. Okay, then this and this, you can just merge it together. You can right click, you can merge layer, but before that, you can merge shapes. So it become one shape. This one and that one. Oops. This and this become one shape. You can still edit. You can play around lah lepas ni. These are the two shapes. Okay, apa lagi? Okay, let's try to like render one floor kan. So if you click this one, it will select, when you click like over here, it will select that layer. If you didn't click, you click, now it's plain lines kan. So even if I click this part, it will not select the pink layer. So you can switch on or switch off based on your preference. In Photoshop, it's not like in AutoCAD. AutoCAD, sometimes people already, like most people have similar working style using AutoCAD. But in Photoshop, it really depends on how you prefer, and you try to see which way, how to work faster. Okay, how to work faster using Photoshop. All right, so Tengok sini. This is one platform to find materials. Tak apalah, kita cuba yang sini dulu. Okay, so for this part here, let's say you want to color this whole this floor here kan. Ni, let's say ni room number, katalah ni room master bedroom for example. So you go to layer, make sure the plain lines ni kalau if you worry, actually you can see here above the layers, there's this one lock position, or you can lock all. Lock all means you cannot even delete the layer. You cannot delete the layer. Okay, if I click lock all, I can just work on that. I can still select all inside the layer, but I cannot move it. For example, if I choose this one, if I click, nothing will happen. It will not even select that layer. I cannot even select this layer. Okay, but if I choose don't move, I can still select. Tak boleh juga. Oh, wait. Okay, no, cannot select lah kesimpulannya. Okay, so you can save it like that. But if you just click here, you can still delete. If you click here, you cannot delete. Tak boleh. Delete je simple lah, delete je. Okay, so let's lock this. You can use magic wand W. Okay, the shortcut is W. If you hover your mouse here, you can see there magic wand tool. Okay, I cannot move my cursor. So magic wand tool, and then there's W, like W punya keyboard icon tapi tu kan. So means the shortcut is W. Rectangular marquee, the shortcut is M. This one is V. So you will memorize this after some time. So one here. So I usually choose this one, so it's easier for me to work. The second one, which is add to selection. So just select like this. Okay, and then use M, and again add to selection. So that even though actually you can just use M for all, but you also have this corner here, kan? So that's why I use Marquee tool first. Sorry, I use magic wand first, and then I will choose the rectangular Marquee tool to select others. So don't worry too much. You don't have to zoom like this. Just estimate, because now you see the zoom here. Okay, it's already 200%. Okay, it's already detailed. So don't worry too much. Kurang lah, huh? Just do like this. Right. So now that you have selected this room, let's create a new layer and bring it down. I will just place any color on this, like that. Okay. Change to master bedroom. Put floor here so it's easier for me to find. Okay. Now you can also place the materials or anything on. You can put the material here, or what you can do is, to be safe and easier to edit after this, you can just use any color first, and at this layer, okay, you will play around with layer a lot. You double click. So there's multiple layer style here. You can use color overlay. Let's see the effect. See, I switch off this one. So you can use color overlay, and you can change the color here. So it's easier for you to play around. If you want to change the color that's already there, it's harder, and sometimes you accidentally created something new that you actually don't want, or you accidentally delete or anything. So just use these effects to make it, to play around with the color. You can add gradient. So this gradient overlay. You can change the gradient color, of course. To change gradient color, sorry, too fast. You can click here to change the color. You can see the two colors here. And You can try to play around, change the first color, change the second color. Ni example je lah. Maybe you can use this one for creating apa kita panggil sky ke, for example. Let me switch off this. You can also use pattern overlay. So it looks funny now because it shows plants. But if you go here, okay, never mind. Nanti kita later we will create more patterns. Okay, if you go here, you can see there's a lot of layers. Actually, in previous Photoshop, there's more. Maybe I can click here. There's more pattern you can explore that is already provided by default. Malas kan sebenarnya nak cari lagi. So let's just import import patterns. This is the preset ada yang baru. Never mind. Okay, later I show you how on the patterns. What else we can do? I think that's enough for now for the material. Okay, any questions so far? Apa lagi kita boleh play around here? Color overlay, you can use drop shadow. If you have, okay, this is very useful for furniture. Let me go here. I think yours. You have, let's have a thing. Let me find your senior's work. Okay. I asked your senior to upload this last time. So they have to produce human figures ke others ke, okay, like this, so you can add into your perspective letter. So let me download one. Now it's plan kan, plan. Let me choose the tree lah. Okay. So save in, if you have this, save in PNG, so it's easier for you. Okay, let's get that one. You can just drag your PNG here. This one already got the shadows with them. Okay, if the shadow is not there, you can just create the shadow. So I'm going to select only these three. Control J to duplicate that selection only. And I'm going to delete the previous layer. Okay, I want to delete the shadow also. You can just use if to erase actually. So you can just erase here. Okay. So this one you can double click, you can use drop shadow. So that is drop shadow. You can play around with the angle. You can play around with the distance. See the distance? You can play around with the spread and the size. The bigger the size, it will be like a little bit blurry. So that is on shadows. Drop shadow, sorry. So there's also outer glow. Outer glow. There's also inner shadow. Depends on what you're going to do. You might need the drop shadow or maybe the inner shadow. Okay, furniture nanti you explore furniture. Okay, pattern. Let's see the pattern. Now, to find pattern, you search for seamless pattern. Why seamless pattern? Because you know how like our clothes, right? We cannot just like keep on designing until forever and ever, right? You know how long the cloth is when you buy it at the shop. Now, what they do is actually they have the same pattern, and that pattern will be repeated. Okay, so when they design the one pattern, the one area of that pattern, this side actually is the same with this one. This one and this one is the same. Nampak tak? This and this is the same. So when you put it together, it will become like continuous. Okay. So you try lah. You can find here actually there's a lot. I will share with you the link later. Okay, I will share e-learning. There is one page where you can download patterns with high quality, and you can adjust the pattern a little bit. Let me choose this one. I'm gonna copy image, save image. Oh no, let's see. The format is WEBP. Find one with. Don't choose this one. I choose a nicer one. And I just want to show some example. Try lah. So you go back to your downloads. You can try to see. Just drag here. You do need a good computer for Photoshop. I think tak boleh. Okay, dia boleh read. Good. So press enter. So right. Okay, you can just right click. Rasterize. Wait now. You can, it's over here, mana? Define pattern. Ni dia. Define pattern. Let me just choose this one. Okay, when you want to choose this part only, you can just press W outside. Sorry. Make sure you deselect this one. Okay, this is like point all sample. Okay, right click. Select inverse. Edit. Define pattern. Yeah, when you only do this once a year, I forgot already how to do it. Rectangular marquee, edit, define pattern. You have to go edit. Actually, you can define pattern. Can you guys do it in your computer? Can you define a pattern? Or did you actually try to do it with me now? Okay, tak ada respond. Are you guys actually exploring this with me? Okay, ingat dah. You have to open it as another file, and then you go to edit and define pattern. Okay. Floor. Ini apa ni? Floor je lah. Floor 1. Type 1. Okay. And you go back here. Now let's try to use a new pattern that we got just now. Pattern overlay. Try to see whether it's here, there. Now it's here. Can you see? My screen is not that big. Okay, let me just move it over here. Okay, again, so double click here at the floor. Now I got color overlay, uncheck that, choose pattern overlay. Okay, when you check here, it doesn't mean that it's selected for the settings. You see the difference? Yeah. I go back to the color overlay. Okay. When I'm at color overlay, you can see that this is darker color. When I check this box for pattern overlay, the settings are still for color overlay. So you have to click the pattern overlay here. Okay, then go to this square, click pattern. Go down here. Now it's under no folder. So just click that one. And you can see that it's repeated over there. It's not. You can change the size here, scale. You can make it smaller. You can make it bigger. Can you see it? Again. So that is why we use seamless pattern. But again, don't use this pattern. This is just example. Spend some time, find for a nice pattern for the floor, and play around to make it more realistic. Okay, realistic or more nicer. Okay. So that is on layers. What else? You can, okay, in AutoCAD, you can actually make the wall fill with black, or you can just do it over here. It's similar with just now. You can go to that layer, the lines layer. You can use Marquee tool, or you can just use Magic Wand tool or Marquee tool. You can select all, but I think it's faster for you to create it in AutoCAD. Okay, so make sure all of these are black, because it's harder for you to do it here. Just show a little bit. Because in Photoshop, it's a bit manual actually, if you realize. The pros is you can do however you want. The cons is it's a bit slower to complete some things that you can do in other software. Let's just have it like that. I will create another new layer, place it lower, below the plan lines. Change the name to wall and press G. Make sure the color is black. You can click this one for black and white. The default one is black and white, right? So you can click, it will turn to black and white. So choose black. If you do like this, it will change to white. Okay, so just press there. So I already shared on how to insert the furniture, similar to how to insert the plants. You can move it up like that. You can Control T and press Shift to scale it. Oh, sorry. Don't have to press Shift. Scale it. Shift if you want to scale it freely. Okay, any question? I think you can complete the task number 1, the 5%. Tak ada question? Penatlah cakap. Juga cakap tak? Okay ke ni? Kok Fu? Kok Fu okay?
Yes, okay.
Terror ni dah boleh siap. So, okay, let's have like a minute break. 5 minutes break. Okay, then we'll continue with. Actually, if you're in the computer lab, I will ask you guys to do it in front of me so I can see. I will give like simple exercise so you can explore the software. So now, did you guys like already install the software? Did I install Photoshop?
Dah, madam.
Are you guys doing this with me now? Try buat tak?
Tengok dulu sebab tak pandai lagi.
Okay, I will give you one simple task because this week you can complete that first, and then the SketchUp one I think is similar kan? SketchUp tu you already know, so you can just export. Okay, tak apa. So I will give you one task you can do now, maybe until 4, then we will see how. So what to do is Nanti share dekat Padlet. Okay. Oh, bukan outline, artwork. Artwork eh. Boleh lah, lebih kurang lah. So find black and white line drawing, anything, you can be cat. So this is more to, you can have anything that you love, okay? For fun, for you to explore the software, for you to have fun with Photoshop. Cat ke apa ke, you want to use your own image ke apa ke boleh. So, but the best is make sure it's black and white like this. Don't choose like this because there's no definite form, right? Choose something like this. Okay, yang dia punya line tu complete. You can find cactus ke, bicycle, anything lah, any object. Macam ni ke, kan cute sikit kan? So you can color all of this. So find this, download the image, open in Photoshop, color with using multiple colors. Okay, color the objects. Place background and upload at Padlet. Okay, in just half an hour, try to explore. Because if not, if you don't explore now, you explore later, then you have some questions, it might be a bit too late to ask the question, kan? Because you actually have to complete your project. Okay, so find this, I want to open the Padlet now. You can find the Padlet at the e-learning letter, okay? Oops. Okay, please submit now. Another 2 minutes to 4 p.m. Only 3 students submitted. Submit now, guys. Don't worry if it's not completed, okay? It's part of the exercise and you can still explore after this. Don't forget to write your name. Someone submitted a green, oh, okay, your name is there. Make sure you have your names there, okay? Okay, faster submit others. If you submit late, we finish our class late. Thank you for those who have submitted. I love all your submission. Just submit image, you don't have to submit Photoshop. Oh yes, I haven't teach you how to save the image. You can just if you don't know how to save the image, you can just print screen and save the print screen to image. Faster submit. Udah berapa ni? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 27. Only 1/3 submitted. Okay, please keep on posting. We'll start to share here. Okay. So, mana tadi? I think this one Asma punya. Asma. If it's, I'm not sure how you select just now. So similar with your drawing, with your architecture rendering letter, these are sometimes happen. These are some things that you can pay attention. Okay, I'm not saying again, this is just exercise. I'm not saying this is wrong anything. This is exercise so that we can see what to do next and how to improve, and you can have more questions maybe. Okay, for example, this white thing, please over here. And why I asked you to do the exercise, because I also want to see what did I miss just now. Okay, let me just copy this one and open in Photoshop. So what you can do is, when you use the magic wand, you can click one color, for example this, you can right click, choose similar. So it will select all similar colors. Now it'll select, let's reduce the tolerance to, let me try 1. Okay, similar. So when the tolerance is lower, it will choose lesser color, only the one that is very similar to it. So usually when I work, the tolerance was 17. So it will find something similar. Over here, actually, it choose this corner part. Okay. So it works sometimes and also doesn't work most of the time. So it works if you want to select things that are at the background, or maybe when the color was all white, you can select it. You see here, this part is not selected. So maybe you have like some white area. What you can do is you can click here, you can right click, similar. So it will select all white color. There's another one over here. And then maybe you can color with red color or any other colors. Okay. So again, choose, right click, similar. You can do the same thing with others. Oh no, sorry, only with magic wand. All right. Control D. Apa lagi I missed tadi? I love all your selection. Very interesting. So I'm not sure how this is. Apa ya, Fakiha? I'm not sure how the back was before you color this. I assume there must be some lines here, but the line is not there when you color it. Maybe, is it? Betul ke?
Yes, madam.
Kan? So maybe because when you color this, katalah, let's say the line is here. The line is here, for example. So if you color on top of this and using the same layer, it's harder for you to control. So don't color using the same layer. Okay, create another layer and you can put it down and you can color on it. For example, you want to color this part. Let me delete this first. Okay, just now actually you have white color, right? What you can do is you can delete the white color first. So let me select this and delete all similar. For example, let's say like this, all of these are just the white lines. So what I can do is I can paste the color at layer, this is 0, right? At layer 4. Just put here 0, means empty. So use G and then you can choose the color. Okay, you can do like this. To choose color, you can actually just click here. You can use eyedropper tool like this. You can see the cursor now, right? And you can choose the color, for example, this color here, or white color, or red color. You can choose the color using eyedropper tool. Choose this one, okay. Click G and just paste here. So the color will be behind the lines and it will not affect the lines. If you color using the same line, for example here, the back, this is back, right? Okay. For example here, what happened is it will like apply a little bit on top of the black color. You see tak? Nampak tak sini kan? You see the line here? Let me zoom in. When I paste here, nampak dia jadi hilang kan? So use different layer. Another way, I lupa nak cerita apa. Color layer. Okay. Another thing is when you, this is not related to your bag, okay? But you can use this. For example, let me delete this one up. Hide this. Okay. Let's say I want to use another color for this one. Yeah, I just randomly place like this. Create a new layer. I will color this as blue. Okay. So this one here, if you see at the top here, now it's normal. Okay, blending options. These are the blending options. Now it's blending mode. Okay, now it's normal. If I change to darken, you'll see the difference. Okay, and now it's blue color kan border ni kan, so I can just press down. I can just press my camera. I can just press this one, press down. It will change to other blending style. So you can play around. You can see how this affects. So it's very useful, for example, this one, let me put over there and place here. Multiply. If you want to change this grayish color floor to bluish, for example, you can just place another blue color on top of that instead of editing it forever and ever. It's a bit complex. So you can also use color burn. You can see how it affects. Okay. So that is here, this one. Okay. Apa lagi yang nak cerita? I can see some of you already placed backgrounds to it. Okay, I remember that. So now you can also, let me choose one example. Those who haven't posting, don't worry, keep on posting. I think everyone dah post kot, maybe this one lagging ke. Alia, bukan dah post ke tadi? Let's say this one, Syayun punya. Okay, so we don't want to color on top of this, on the similar layer. Put here buildings, and we don't want to color on the same layer. But what if you want to color faster? What we can do is, okay, now I create another layer. I give the name color. When you do all this layering, make sure you have like a standardization way to name all this, because you want to find a layer, kan? So you want to find easily. So make sure, for example, instead of buildings, you give proper names. So what buildings, for example? Okay, now make sure you selected the color layer. Okay, but when we want to color this, for example, I just randomly place the color. Okay, choose the magic wand, but over here make sure you click this one. Okay, so when I click here, it will select the objects at another layer, even though we're actually selecting color layer. You see how it select the object, the lines and the colors at the buildings layer. So how this helps is like this. Okay, click this one, and you can just straight away color here, G, and you can choose the color. Okay, you can color here. You can deselect. You can press W. Let's say this one and this one is the same color. And this one maybe. So change to another color plug, and you can click. So if you click multiple area, it will color all these areas. So this one will not be affected. The layer with the lines will not be affected. Okay. Remember, magic wand, and then choose this one. The name is sample colors from composite image. Okay. Lagi apa? Transparency. Okay, I see some of you did apply transparency just now. Like, cactus, banyak cactus. Okay. The cactus with background just now. Did you guys deleted it? cactus. Never mind. Maybe it's there. So what you can also do like this. If you want to apply transparency to the layer, what you can do is let's apply it here. Katalah yang ni kan, let's see lah this one. You can just go here, see dekat layers ni ada opacity. So there's two, opacity, fill or opacity ni overall. Let me apply. Fill tu kalau apa korang nampak? Maybe here. This one. Okay. You see this one when I apply, you will find the difference when you work later. Okay, but fill is for this fill. Kan you guna bucket ni kan fill. So when I reduce the layer, for this one kan, zoom in. For this part, when I reduce the layer, you see nothing happened. When I change the opacity, it will reduce. Kalau I tukar fill, nothing will happen. But if I hide this one, the effects, and change the fill, you can see that even the fill, the transparency of the color is getting lower and getting higher. Transparency getting higher, opacity getting lower. Okay, opacity, opaque means solid. Okay, transparency, transparent means transparent lah. And if you realize just now I keep on doing this, right click, choose layer. You can do that also. Make sure you add, you selecting this one, move to, you right click on what layer you want, and you can choose the first one or the one behind that. So for this one, the layers where at the point that I click are floor, which is this one, and background, which is this one. I cannot move this one because it's locked. Okay. If I click here, right click. If I right click here, there's 3 layers. Layer 4, layer this one, master bedroom, or background. Okay, apa lagi nak cerita? You guys have any questions that after you're done this exercise? So supposedly this is for SketchUp, but apparently I think it's supposed to be this way. It's better. So you learned Photoshop this week. I will share on tips of SketchUp next week. Okay, but you can already start to do the first project, which is the floor plan. And of course, you can start with the others. Don't worry, you can just start first. Remember, make sure you keep on save a few. Farid, siapa buku hantar? Dia ada sign. So I hope you can have fun with the software after this. This one ke yang blur just now? I don't know, but someone did make the something, the one object transparency, transparent. Okay, so any questions? We still have another 15 minutes. More than 30 minutes. Okay, Leoman, let's have a look at your I've explained about this. After this, you can create the SketchUp model. Remember, I just share with you guys a little bit on SketchUp for those who never tried SketchUp before. Okay, so SketchUp is available at online. If means available if you open it in a browser, or so we don't have. There's no student version for SketchUp. You can install trial version for 1 month. Yeah, that's the only way to use SketchUp. 3 ways. Okay, so by default, you can see here, there's multiple templates, you can choose architectural millimeters. Okay. Now by default, there's this one lady here to help you imagine the scale. It's very easy to pan, to orbit, simple. To orbit, you press the center. To pan, you press shift and the center. Okay, press shift, don't release, and click the center of your mouse. Right click, so more selection. Left click is to select, of course. Okay. So you can, if you can import your floor plan from AutoCAD. I don't really suggest that, because usually importing from SketchUp to AutoCAD, AutoCAD to SketchUp, usually your model is messy. So when you import and you export from these two software, sometimes there's too many lines, and sometimes it's harder for you to continue building. And it might be easier for you to just have it in, and you can import, but don't use the exact same lines. You can just make it into a group and you can redraw on that. Okay. So for example, you can click the tool here, you can move like this. You can put the dimension, you can see at the bottom there. But okay, don't move your cursor. You can see the dimension. If I type 4,000, 1,000. So 4,000 is the X, 1,000 is the Y. Okay, X and Y, macam AutoCAD. And you can zoom in. You can do offset, or the shortcut is O. Offset, this one. Okay. It might be orbit. Okay, or offset is F. Offset is F. Okay. So you can click here at the squares now. You can move it inside. You can type 100 or 150 maybe for the wall. And you can use P for pen, or this icon here. You can click and move up. So it's very simple and straightforward. When you're still here, you can just orbit and pan. Okay, when you move it up, you can press maybe 2500 for the height of the wall. And then let's say you have something else here. If you click P and double click, it will apply the similar height as just now, the previous one that you used, kan? You click again, dia hilanglah, turun balik. So you can try to explore first, and until next week I will share on the tips and tricks. So next week we will learn on that, and a little bit on how to export from SketchUp to AutoCAD. Sorry, so many software kan, from SketchUp to Photoshop. Okay. Tak ada question. I kena panggil names lagi ke? Tak ada question pun, say something. Wait, was Wu Shen Lei? How to call your name? Is it Lei Wu Chen? Hello? Mute ke? I tak mute kan? Kai, are you there?
Yes, madam.
Penat dah ke?
Okay.
Hafizuddin? Hafizuddin second year Aki ke? Bukan Aki kan? I nak jot lah name yang tak ada ni. So I assume Hafizuddin is not here.
Ada doktor.
Ada. Hafizuddin from what course? From what program?
IA.
IA. Okay. Okay ke? Dah biasa pakai?
Baru belajar.
Any
Still.
question? What do you think? What do you actually expect to learn? Ada tak yang you expect to learn more ke?
I hope I can learn the function.
Function.
Banyak lagi tak tahu. Kalau banyak dah tahu, boleh senang.
Tak apa, try dulu. So I think after this, for this week kan, you can just straight away try the task 1. Because after this, for perspective, it's more complex. Okay, for complete the task 1 first. Don't wait until the submission time. Okay?
Okay, madam.
All right. There's more of both tools here, okay? That the filter, you can apply all this. But yeah, I don't want you guys to pening nanti kan. Oh, I didn't teach one thing, but it's okay. I will teach this after this to text. I will teach this in when we want to do the composition. Okay. So if there's no more question, make sure you have taken your attendance. Nanti, QR code. Who haven't taken the attendance yet? Kau semua dah ambil attendance. Anyone haven't take your attendance? Hello? Semua dah Sampai tak Yasha dah Dah. Alright. So if there's no more question and everyone already take the attendance, I will see you next week. Make sure you install the software. Make sure you also have Sketchup after this, and this is optional. Install Illustrator. Nak tengok tak Illustrator? Because I think Illustrator is very helpful when you want to arrange your board. Okay, actually, the correct way to work is not using Illustrator, is to use InDesign. InDesign is the best software for arranging boards, making books, but then you need to learn another software, kan? So I usually just use Adobe Illustrator. I hope I learned about this when I was students last time, but I also use Photoshop for my boards. What happened is when you use Photoshop, you produce image. When you use Illustrator, you produce vector. For example, I actually create this one. For those who second year, if you want to know, I actually already did this when I want to see whether how you want to submit your project. So this is line, kan? This is vector lines. I don't have any image here. Okay, this is image. So this is image. Nampak tak? This one. Ungroup. This one image. So if I zoom in, you can see the pecah. Kan? It's pixelated. But you can see this one, the line, the red line, it's still like that. Even though I zoom in, no matter how much I zoom in, it will still be like as sharp as that lah. Similar quality. Okay, the same quality as per 100% zoom, for example. So that is the difference between vector and image. This is raster image. This is vector. So when you produce PDF, for example, if you use Illustrator, it will produce lines. Okay, usually what happens is we will convert into lines and then we export. If not, if the software cannot read the fonts, what happens is it will become like dia jadi rosak. It will select other fonts. So your board will look a bit weird using font that actually not chosen for the board. And another good thing is for this one, for example, you can still arrange using numbers. For example, the shape is 574 times 400, right? I can still just amend here easily. And other stuff you can transform. You can move it to the right, to the left. It's easier. You can move this one, you can move to the right in just like that, or you can just use transform or shape. You can move it to the right or to the left with this one. Another thing is it's easier for you to change the stroke, it's easier for you to change the color and etc. Let me undo this. Okay. And I think the most important thing is it's not heavy, because yes, you can insert image like this, or you can just insert image as like link. You can just link image. Means you save the image in one folder together with this folder, but when you open this file, you can save this Illustrator file together with the image file. Okay, so it's easy for you to find. But when you arrange this one inside the Illustrator, you can just insert as link. So your software will be lighter. It's easier for you to work. But of course, in this one, it's harder for you to create like fancy background. But I think for architecture, you don't have to have like fancy background. Good, basic, simple background is good enough. Kan? And don't worry, you can still insert images for the border, etc. You can use the shapes here. You can still have gradients and others. And another interesting thing, let me choose one of your friend drawing here. Yeah, Farid. So you can do image trace. You see, now that this one, if I click expand, this is already a vector. No matter how much I zoom in, it will still be that sharp. But of course, this one, because it's a bit complex, kan? So somehow you can actually edit any icon that you find online. It's easier for you to edit all those things and make it higher quality compared to if you use image and edit in Photoshop. So that's the difference. Okay, dah cukup lah. Too many software pening kan? No. So that's Photoshop, Illustrator. Let's finish this one first. Produce the floor plan. Let's see next week whether you want to produce the board in Illustrator or in Photoshop. Okay. So see you next week, same time. Do check at the e-learning. I will upload a few videos so you can watch earlier before the next class, and we can spend less time during class. Penat kan? Okay. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Thank you, madam.
Sama.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan sama-sama.
Thank you, madam.
Take care semua.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Sama.
You madam.